Hi, this is April. I know that there are a lot of other questions about the 90-day year program in terms of what did I think of the actual program and how did it specifically affect my business? And so I thought I would just answer those questions here and then please let me know if you have any additional questions. Okay, as far as the program itself, people have asked me how much time does it take to actually go through the program? Todd does a brilliant job of putting together really targeted, focused modules. So I would say each module was, maybe an hour or so total. Like there'd be a video and he had worksheets and things like that. But it wasn't super intensive as far as how much material you have to go through. But each idea that he shared or presented and I implemented, oh my goodness, completely changed the way I worked. And I'll go into that more in a little bit, but it doesn't take that long to actually go through the modules. Then he does have Q&A calls, and he actually offers a lot of those live events. And so those were really helpful. I actually did attend probably, most of them, I think 90% of them, I was there. And I actually did submit a lot of questions too because I wanted to get advice from him. And so he's really good about having that super organized. So you can submit your questions, be there for the live Q&A calls, and those are really helpful to me. And then I also did go to his live event that he holds, and that was phenomenal. I mean, I pay for conferences all the time, and that was phenomenal. And it's included in the price of your program. So as far as not joining because it would take a lot of time, that wouldn't be the reason I wouldn't join. I think he does a great job using your time well. Okay, so other just pros and cons of joining. I'll start with the cons. I mean, for me, I felt like price was the biggest issue. If it was like a $10 program, I'd say, hey, sure, sounds great. But he puts so much into it. So really, I don't know, where price might seem like, ooh, that's kind of expensive. I feel like for what I got from it, I was very impressed and very satisfied with what I got from it. So I'll just say that. The only other thing I told him, I said, Todd, really, the only reason I hesitate telling people about this program is because you kind of use some salty language, as he calls it, not in these videos and not in the formal program, but on the Q&A calls or in some of the events and things like that. He has some occasional swear words and uses some strong language when he's talking about something he's passionate about. And I personally don't ever swear, so I was a little concerned. And if my kids were in the room while I was listening to a Q&A, I would just put in my headphones. It wasn't all the time, it was just occasional, but just thought I'd give you a heads up on that. So really, that was the only hesitation I had. But the pros were so good that I felt like that wasn't a reason enough not to be part of the program. So here's what I did love about the program. First of all, he's totally on the ball. I mean, you get the emails, they're sent out right when you would need them. Everything's done really timely. The Facebook group, they have special little codes in there that you put before you post. So if it's a question or if it's a share or whatever it is, so that the Facebook group's really organized. He has the rules. I mean, he runs a tight ship, that's what I'll say. So really tight ship. They also put together an accountability partner program. So I got set up with someone else who's kind of the same stage of business, and we had calls every week, just half-hour check-in. It was really helpful to be able to have someone who could help me talk through some things and who could recommend really great people to help with, website design or things that I needed. So that was super helpful. And then also during the live Q&A calls, I really felt like I could be vulnerable and I could ask questions and say, hey, I'm feeling, kind of anxious, or I'm feeling really scared, or I'm worried about this. And he would just, the way he would put things, the way he would explain it is exactly how I needed it said. And he really has done a ton to help my confidence. So I'll just say that live calls are great there. Again, that live event, it was 2 days. He brought in amazing speakers. I was taking notes the whole time. There were no speakers that I just thought, oh, I'll just kind of sit back. And really, it was intense. And then he did some training there as well that just really helped me look at what I had on my plate, what I was doing with my business, what decisions I was making, and which projects I was working on. It was really, really helpful. And then he has these extra webinars. He brings in experts and has these other people. And I think what happened is that this momentum was building. And as I would see the way that Todd was working and see the way he's running his program and watch how he's running his business, I just felt so inspired and thought, I want to do things like he does. He does a really good job. So that's just kind of my assessment of the program itself. And then I'll talk a little bit about the personal, before and after, if you just want to know a little bit more about that. Okay, so after the first 30 days, when it was time to decide if I was going to ask for a refund or not, because if you heard my other recording with Eric, I had just planned to ask for a refund. I was thinking, oh, I'm already really productive and I don't really need this program and it's fine. I know what I need to do. I just need to get to work. I had kind of that mindset. So then after 30 days, I actually sat down and I wrote down, here's where I was, and now here's where I am. And I just put together a little chart. Okay, so first of all, where I was trying to please too many people. And because I was trying to do that, I was actually spending time doing jobs that I didn't personally need to do, things that I could hire out, things I could delegate. I was just trying to do everything myself. Then, once I really got into 90 Day Year, I started investing the time where I am most valuable. Started figuring out, okay, what can I do to empower other people, or how can I set up systems to make this easier? I just changed my mindset. So instead of thinking I just need to do more and I need to do it faster, it was I really don't need to be doing most of this at all. Okay, so he has this awesome entrepreneurial scorecard he takes you through and shows you how to place value on your activities and how to kind of measure it. Totally opened my mind. Okay, next, I was mentally tired. Because I was people pleasing, because I was doing so many low value tasks, I was mentally tired. But then after 30 days, I was just tired from hard work. I mean, Todd was saying, get in there, you get working. So I wasn't just hanging out, checking email or wasting time. I was working and moving things forward and getting things done. So yeah, I was still tired, but now I'm actually getting better at taking more breaks. Okay, before 90 Day Year, I was generally timid and I was doubtful of my skills. And after, I was generally confident in my abilities to serve others. So just that mindset shift was huge. Before 90 Day Year, I was working suboptimally with an assistant who was not performing. I had hired actually these two assistants and they really were causing more stress than they were help. And I kept thinking, oh, it's my fault. I should just delegate better. I just actually ended up needing to let them go. And then we hired our current assistant who completely changed my life and made things so much easier. And I just felt so excited. But before I would join 90 Day Year, I was just kind of willing to just kind of work with my subpar situation because I'd invested time and money getting it set up and I didn't want to change. And anyway, I was able to see the difference. Also, before 90 Day Year, I felt like I should hold back if others weren't as excited about what I was offering, what I was selling. I was really afraid to even just sell anyone on anything because I just felt like, oh, if they don't like it, I don't want to say anything. But once I went through his program, I just started boldly going after what I wanted and becoming more creative in the process. Sure, if that one specific webinar didn't work, then okay, how can we make it better, right? And what I learned is that when you're in business and you're earning money for a family, that's not a bad thing. I've been kind of afraid of it for so long and, never spent any money, never charged any money, just tried to do everything for free. And if you're living that way right now, it's exhausting. That's why you're stressed. That's why you're overwhelmed. When you realize what value you have to offer to other people and then you do it boldly, that changes everything. I mean, even right now, I'm an affiliate for Todd Herman's program. And I've gotten a couple messages, maybe even just one or two, of people saying, well, I can't believe you're selling something so expensive, or why are you promoting something so expensive? That's, that's not appropriate, or that's shady, or that's not okay. And the old me would have said, oh, you're totally right. I shouldn't ever try to sell something expensive. But the new me says, you don't have to buy it if it's not right for you. But if you have the money and you're looking for a solution, and this is the solution, investing in an expensive program or making this big investment, that's a really smart move, especially if it's going to pay off in your business. So it's just changed my mindset. I mean, I get it that other people might not see things the same way, and that's okay. But when you have a service or product you're selling, you need to be able to do so with confidence. Okay, and then one of the last things that I noted on this little sheet was I was blaming my situation for my weaknesses. like, okay, the reason why I can't do this, the reason I'm so weak is because I'm in this situation, because I have 4 kids, because I don't have my own office, because my husband needs me during the day, because, right, I was telling myself, here's why I'm not successful. And after 90 Day Year, I started asking, how can my constraints benefit me? How can I become more productive, creative, effective because I'm in this difficult situation or because I'm dealing with something hard? And that completely just changed my mindset, changed what I started thinking about and doing, and helping me so much in growing my business. And I will say running a family still is different. I mean, yeah, you can look at your hours and say, okay, here's where I'm most valuable. But one thing I need to realize is that, and I hope all of us realize, is that the time with our families is priceless. I mean, you can't put a dollar per hour on that. Even though I can pay someone, $8 or whatever to babysit my children if I wanted to, the value of spending time with my family and investing in my motherhood, that's priceless. And so what I'm hoping is that as you go through the 90-day year program, if you decide to join, is that you'll recognize that this can completely improve your business mindset and help your business to grow. But I hope that I can also be a help to you in being able to put your family first, have that balance. I mean, people say there's no balance. I think there's hard choices we make, but I want this to be something that not only helps you financially in your business, but helps your family to be stronger. Okay, so I hope that I've answered your questions there. Really, I wish there had been someone I could have talked to a little bit more about my decision to join, because I was seriously going back and forth and I was feeling super nervous about it. But I will say that once I joined, and I felt confident that, okay, they'll give me a refund if I don't like it. And I have the money and I'm going to just go in and I'm going to do this with the intention that it's going to make a great impact on my life. That I was really excited, and Todd took good care of me, and that's why I'm one of his affiliates now, and that's why I'm helping to promote the program, because it made such a difference to me. All right, good luck with the decision. Let me know if you have any more questions.